Hi, Emily from the Pencil Room here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to draw a continuous line drawing of your own hand. A continuous line drawing is also sometimes called a contour drawing, and if you've taken art lessons before, you might be familiar with this technique, or maybe you're here because you're learning about it at school right now. But if this is the first time that you've heard about continuous line drawing, I can tell you it's one of the best drawing exercises to practice because it forces you to slow down and look carefully. It helps us to see more like an artist and less like, well, like a regular person. When you look at your hands as a regular person, you see the simple shapes and you see what your hands can do, but you don't really see them in detail. Continuous line drawing will help you to see clearly. For this exercise, you'll need two hands. You'll need a sketchbook and you'll need a pen. And we'll be keeping the tip of the pen on the page at all times. So if it's an ink pen like this one, just make sure it's not a leaky one. We'll start in just a moment, but first I want you to keep in mind that at some point during the drawing process, your regular person mind might try to overtake your artist mind. It might get impatient and try to speed up, or it might try to make your hand drawing look like what a regular person thinks a hand should look like. Try really hard to stay with your artist mind and focus on looking for edges and lines. We'll use our non-drawing hand as a model for this lesson. And when we draw our hand, we're going to be drawing any lines that we see. So that means the outline, but also the lines on the inside of the hand. Place your model hand in a relaxed position on a table next to your sketchbook and get comfy. Make sure you can easily look from your hand to your sketchbook and back just by flicking your eyes. Before putting anything down on the page, just look. Follow your eye along the edge of your hand and fingers. Make a point of noticing how the edge changes. Where does it change angles? Or dip into a wrinkle or curve up and around? Look at the shapes of the different segments that make up your fingers and become familiar with the lines that you'll be drawing. When you're ready to go, choose a starting point on one side of your model hand. I usually start here or here. And choose a point on your page to start, making sure you've got plenty of room on the page. Now, all we're going to do is slowly move our eye along the edge of our model hand and start moving our pen at the same time to record what we see. Keep the pen on the paper at all times, and as you go, look for changes in direction of the edge and look for small details. You can stop and rest whenever you need to, but keep the pen on the page. As you work your way around your hand, draw the outer edge and also any lines you see on the inside of your hand as you come across them. Flick your eye to your drawing whenever you need to, but never look just at your page. If you stop looking at your model hand, you risk a takeover from your regular person mind. And when this happens, you'll feel an urge to try to make it look like a good drawing of a hand, instead of focusing just on looking and drawing. Remember, don't take your pen off the page, and this means sometimes you're going to need to double back over the same line. Now, the purpose of this exercise isn't to draw a good drawing of a hand, although sometimes you might be pleasantly surprised at what you end up with. The purpose is to get better at using your artist mind to see clearly. And if you haven't done this type of drawing before, it might feel strange or even a little bit scary. Try to let go of any fear or doubt that pops up in your mind, and instead be curious about what you're looking at. Stay focused on looking and drawing what you see. Now, I know I said to keep the pen on the page, but if you find that you've gone way off track, go back to where you went astray and just redraw your line over top. This might mean that you're drawing the same line several times in a different place, but that's okay. If you find it difficult to stay with your artist mind, try these 3 tips. As you draw, imagine that you're actually tracing your pen around your model hand. Can you imagine that you feel the tip of the pen where it sits against your skin? Try to move your eye and your pen at the same slow speed. As your eye moves along an edge, your pen moves at the same time. Most of all, think of this as a way of exercising your mind rather than producing a finished drawing, especially if this is the first time that you've done this type of drawing. You'll learn a lot more from a result like this than from a result like this. Practice this as often as you like, but make sure you don't overdo it. If you start getting tired, then just take a break. If you keep practicing, you'll find your coordination improves, and most of all, your observation skills will improve. And you'll start seeing things differently as you learn how to use your artist mind.